Oh, that's good. I keep having this nagging feeling that I've forgotten something.
Hey, if you forgot it, it probably wasn't all that important.
Yeah, I guess.
Hello there, welcome to Nox's Library, and today we're... hold on a second. That's better. Now, today we're looking at The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, one of the best RPGs ever made, and it's somehow 10 years old now. Oh.
Fuck.
Anyway, it's a game that does almost everything brilliantly. Respecting the source material, check. Great characters, check. Brilliant writing, check. Still great visuals, check. And so on and so on. But it isn't flawless. And where its writing does falter is in its continuity. You see, something that you need to understand about the games is that they're basically brilliantly written fanfiction. The books and the events are canon to the games, but the games aren't canon to the books. Meaning that, besides a few CD Projekt retcons here and there, all the events from the books happened in the games, which has caused a few continuity issues, especially with The Witcher 3. The biggest one I can think of, as someone who's read most of the books, is the storyline around Ciri. No, not that Ciri. This one, the fake one. And those of you who have only played Wild Hunt might not know a massive amount about her, mainly because she basically just vanishes off the face of the earth before the game starts and there isn't a trace of her. In isolation, this isn't really a problem for The Witcher 3, but if you take the entire Witcher package, from The Last Wish all the way through to Blood and Wine, it's kind of a big plot hole that I don't think gets discussed that much. Let me explain why. First, I have to summarise some of the events from the books, so bear with me. This is also going to be a gross oversimplification. But what you need to know is that throughout the books, people want to hunt down Ciri for multiple reasons, including her father, Emperor Emhyr. So he sends a force of Nilfgaardians, including the young knight Kahir, along with two pretty evil sorcerers, Vilgefortz and Ryance, to capture her during a coup on the Isle of Thanev. This coup causes a lot of chaos, and a lot of people get killed, but in this chaos, Ciri manages to escape by using a tower to teleport, and ends up in the desert with a unicorn. Trust me, it makes a lot more sense in context. I'd advise you to read the books if you like the Witcher games, since as I said before, I'm just simplifying things here. But either way, Vilgefortz and Ryance can't go back to Emhyr empty-handed, so they grab some random noble girl from Sintra, who just so happens to look like Ciri, and hands her off to Nilfgaard in the hope that no one notices. The problem is, they and the rest of the world don't know that Ciri is Emhyr's daughter, and he can tell right away that this girl is not Ciri. But everyone already believed she was, and he was in a position where he couldn't really reveal the truth because she first gets presented to him at court. Instead, he just shoves false Ciri into some tower in the middle of nowhere, but he does occasionally visit her. Now, we never learn false Ciri's name, since she refuses to tell anyone, but Emhyr had a plan to marry Ciri to strengthen his claim to Sintra, and with this Ciri being a fake, it makes the entire ordeal a lot less incestuous. I mean, this isn't the only reason. He also believes in a prophecy that his son will inherit the Elder Blood and rule the continent, meaning he needs to have a kid with Ciri to save the world, since Ciri has the Elder Blood, which is the main reason why she gets hunted by basically everyone in the books. And the motivations range from, well, we need this girl to have a kid, to we need to harvest her organs. Seriously, Ciri has a terrible time in the books. Now, Emhyr is a piece of work. And although his relationship with Ciri is complicated, we get some signs he isn't purely evil Knievel in The Lady of the Lake when he shows some conflict about marrying his own daughter, and false Ciri even managed to get some humanity out of him. Surprisingly, Emhyr ends up showing quite a bit of fondness toward this false Ciri, and he ends up marrying her anyway after letting the real Ciri go, with false Ciri becoming Empress Cyrilla Fiona of Nilfgaard. Now, for the rest of the video, I'm going to call false Ciri Fiona, to not get confused. I'm also pretty confident that Fiona is a character in CD Projekt Red's version of the Witcher world. For one, she appears in Gwent, but with this being a spin-off is not hard evidence. She also gets mentioned in leaked material for The Witcher 3 back in 2014, where she's mentioned as Becca for some reason. She was an earlier version of Ceres, but the most concrete bit of evidence comes from The Witcher 2, where she gets mentioned in Ambassador Shillard Fitz Osterlin's first letter to the Emperor. This makes Fiona's exclusion in The Witcher 3 even more odd. She should be the Empress of Nilfgaard throughout the games, but she's never mentioned, like at all outside of this one letter. Her general existence kind of confuses the hunt for Ciri in The Witcher 3, because we don't know what happened to her, and if she's not around, there are only one of two possibilities. One, Fiona is dead. The fandom page says she's dead. But there isn't any evidence, and as far as the books are concerned, they end with the world believing she's Ciri and the rightful Empress, while the real Ciri is chilling in Camelot with Sir Galahad. Again, it makes more sense in context. If this is the case, the death of Nilfgaard's Empress should be a massive deal. Maybe Emir wants to hide it and replace Fiona with Ciri before anyone else realises his wife is dead. But as far as I can tell, Emir wants Ciri to be his kid and heir, and not his wife in The Witcher 3, so I don't know, man. The other possibility is that people found out about Fiona not being the real Ciri, thus putting Emir in the terrible political situation he finds himself in The Witcher 3. But this raises a few other problems. One of these problems is that Emir never once mentions what happened to Fiona, and given that she looks like Ciri, if she's hiding somewhere, it's probably a good idea to tell Geralt, who's hunting Ciri, not to look for Fiona. Also, it's implied in the books that Emir actually cares a lot about Fiona, and he may even love her, as much as he can love anybody. So like, what the hell, man? Now, I do want to say that I understand why CD Projekt Red got rid of Fiona. The whole incestuous thing with Emir and Ciri is weird. It's so weird. Everyone wants to get it on with Ciri in the books. In the words of Jenna Ortega,
everybody wants to fuck the 15-year-old!
The Witcher 3 is also big and complicated enough as is, and introducing Fiona with Ciri might have been confusing to some people. These are probably the reasons why Fiona got cut from the game and got replaced by Ceres. Still, just a little something for us book readers to explain Fiona away would have been nice, since I now don't understand Emir at all in these games. His motivations do not make sense to me now after reading the books, which is odd because I just accepted them when I first played the games. And this was before I even knew about the books. There could have been a simple solution, like Emir mentioning that Fiona is hiding somewhere and that he needs the real Ciri to be his heir after all his lies have been found out. These lies would include Fiona's real identity and that Ciri is actually his daughter, since most people shouldn't know about that. This could have been the case in The Witcher 3 with just a couple of lines of dialogue, and considering how good CD Projekt Red has proven to be with its writing, it's weird that it had such an oversight on something that could be so easily fixed, at least in my opinion. But the Witcher game series does feel very different to the book series in my opinion. The books are more dour, desperate and philosophical, where the games are more fun, witty and vibrant. Sure, some of that philosophy is reintroduced with Regis in Blood and Wine, thus making him my favourite character in both the games and the books. But with the two series feeling so different, I tend to give things like the False Ciri plot hole a bit of a pass. Well, I try to anyway. It does bug the hell out of me, I can't lie.
Now he roams through hill and valley, and the canyons open wide, singing songs of gentle mourning for his lost and lonesome bride, for his lost and lonesome bride.